everybody, and welcome back to the SCV Properties Podcast. My name is Caden Stanley. I'm joined by my broker, Melanie Eden, and today we're here to talk about short-term rentals. We kind of had this question brought up many times throughout the beginning of 2023. Do you guys manage your short-term rentals? The term kind of started going around. Airbnb grew in popularity, Vrbo sites just like that, and we decided to say, you know what? Let's try it out. And we are here to give you a little bit of an update after we've done it for roughly 6 months, maybe a little bit longer. And I will shoot it over to Melanie to kind of start with, what is the ideal property we've found for an Airbnb?
That is a very loaded question. What we thought would be an ideal property that works wonderful as a rental property, I found is not the ideal property for an Airbnb. We have learned so much in the 6-7 months that we've been doing short-term rentals, and I am revisiting the whole idea of what's a good property for a short-term rental. So here's where we are. Right now we have 2 3-bedroom single-family homes that are short-term rentals, and what we found is that they end up being a party, drug, alcohol abuse property.
It's too much space.
It's too much space. So one person registers, they claim that they have 2 guests or 3 guests, and then what we end up having happen is we've got a house full of 10 or 15 people, and there's booze bottles everywhere, and there's puke everywhere, and there's blood on the ceilings, and the last place we just had somebody wipe out the kitchen of all of the utensils, plates,
door damage, wall
damage, and they were there for 2 days, and we probably have a $2,500 Airbnb claim. So what we thought was a great idea has really now morphed into, is it really that great of an idea, or maybe is it we need to have a 2-bedroom unit? Because my sister had 2-bedroom Airbnbs. We have a couple clients that self-manage their 1- and 2-bedroom Airbnbs, and they do not have the same experience that we're having in 3 bedrooms. And I think a 3-bedroom is just too big with too many people. If you have a smaller apartment, duplex, condo, you have a very different type of person that comes in and rents that. Maybe it's more cost effective for them to rent it. You can also do, if this makes any sense, longer term, short term rentals, because you can get a 2-month or a 3-month stay, a midterm rental, and you do not have the drama.
A little bit more pride of rentership, if you will, with those little bit longer term stays, which I was going to piggyback off you and say we've also learned, we started off by only, we allowed 1-night rentals, and we quickly learned we went from 2 nights actually minimum stay during the week, and now we're even going to increase up to 3-night minimum stay, especially on the weekends, just because then you don't have, it avoids these, you're coming in using the house to party for 1 night and leaving. And if you've got 15 people there, after you pay $150 for the place plus a cleaning fee, it's $15 a person to wreck the place.
Right.
So we've kind of learned that to be very important as well, to kind of go up in the night count there.
As well as to increase your cleaning fee. You can't have a cleaning fee on a 3-bedroom single-family home that's $100, because you cannot clean a house after what we're finding the damage to be for $100. So we've increased our daily stays, we've increased our nightly cost, and we've increased our cleaning fees. And some of our owners have even said, you know what, we're just going to go towards midterm rentals, and we're going to be on Furnish Finders, and we're going to get off of Airbnb, because the client base that we're experiencing does not make them money. And I know this is hard to believe, people buy real estate to make money, right? Weird.
Mind blown.
It is mind blowing. So we have to understand that we are a fiduciary to our owners, so that they make money. And if you are thinking about buying an Airbnb, short-term rental, midterm rental, look at 2-bedroom places versus a 3-bedroom place. I think you might have a better opportunity to make money.
or possibly, which I know we have some investors that are possibly thinking about exploring, like you said, 2 bedroom in like a duplex, have one be a longer term, so you've got some capital coming in month over month, and then do another one either short or midterm. So that other tenant being there, it creates that a smaller space for just one portion of the duplex, and therefore hopefully mitigating this party scene that we've been seeing going on here.
Right, and I think because we have single family homes, they're not being watched. The few people that I know that have Airbnbs and duplexes, they don't have the problems that we're having. Just, they are 2 bedroom units, so that makes a difference. But I think because people feel they're being watched, a single family home, I'm finding it's really turned into just a free for all.
Yeah, exactly, 100%. And to kind of go back to one topic that you had brought up, talking about Airbnb and all of this as well, it kind of comes back, full circle to long term, where we always say, hey, numbers might look like this on paper, but not necessarily in reality. It's the exact same thing here, where, okay, you go, all right, if I'm charging $200 per night, I'm renting out an average for 15 to 18 nights a month. That's great, but what other people don't see is also the fees that are included. Airbnb charges us a fee, cleaners charges a fee, they charge us an extra fee when they have to clean up something like this that we've been seeing. So although your gross number might look like this, there's a lot of unexpected costs that come into it that you just need to build a buffer. Definitely build a buffer when it comes to short-term rental.
Sure. Also, pay attention. You're going to have to heat the place. You're going to have to pay for your Spectrum bill, or whoever you have for your internet service. You have all of your material costs, and wow, towels walk away.
Yeah.
Kitchen supplies walk
TV
away.
TV remotes, garage remotes.
Yeah, they just walk away with the people. And if you have a garage at your property, maybe you say, you got to park on the street, or you got to park in the slab, so your garage remotes don't walk away. You can't think of it as people are being honest. You have to assume that someone is probably being dishonest, and just because they have a 5-star review doesn't mean that 5-star review is an honest 5-star review. They could have stayed at a friend's place, they gave them a 5-star review. So pay attention to how many 5-star reviews that they have, and set a limit. You have to have an X number of 5-star reviews before we're going to rent to you. It may seem counterintuitive if you're trying to fill your place, but when you're trying to clean up, because you have somebody that turned over on Sunday morning and someone else moving in at 4 o'clock, and you just came across a place that has drywall damage and all your supplies are gone, suddenly you have to talk to the next people. They can't move in.
You're in the jackpot. Yeah.
Right? You're in trouble.
Yeah, it becomes difficult very quickly. And another thing to kind of, yet again go back to that you just said of figuring this out last minute, is the fact that, remember, unless you have a property manager, you're always on call. I know we had one situation, I believe it was roughly a month and a half ago, Friday night, I give Melanie a call and I say, hey, they just gave me a call, the Airbnb tenants, and they just locked themselves out. They can't figure it out. It was 8:30 at 9 o'clock on a Friday, and somebody's got to go out there. You're on call. They got to get into the property because you're fighting for that 5-star review in order to get more guests. So just remember that although you are, there just to clean it and other items, you're always on call no matter the time.
Not only do they lock themselves out, but sometimes they lose a key. They drop it in the yard. Do you have a spare set of keys there? Do you have a maintenance team that's close by? You have to think 3 steps ahead when you have a guest, because you should expect them to drop their key in the backyard. So you want to get away from keys as much as possible, but go to a keypad. Well, that doesn't mean that they don't lock the knob on the inside and suddenly the keypad doesn't work anymore. And what happens if the keypad malfunctions? Battery dies, so make sure you have keypads on multiple doors so people can actually get in, so that you can solve the problem the next day when the battery dies, or they've done something to the lock so that they can still get in one of the doors.
100%. I think another thing too that's also difficult, or con, if you will, of Airbnb, not to only bring up the cons, but we're here to tell you about all the things that you didn't expect to hear about, was doing anything you can there's a different precedent for owners versus tenants when it comes to short-term rental, in that you need to do anything you can for a 5-star review, because nowadays guests are only looking at reviews pretty much. So you have to do whatever you can above and beyond just to get that 5-star, which can also cost you money in the long run as well, whether it's running back out there or doing these tasks here and there where a 4-star is a big difference compared to a 5-star in this case scenario.
Does it make sense to treat it like a hotel and have all your little bottles of shampoo and soaps? Because that runs a lot of money versus a big bottle of shampoo and a big bottle of body wash and a big bottle of lotion. Yes, it looks nice, but those are going to be taken by every single tenant. They're going to wipe you out of your toilet paper and your paper towels and your cleaning supplies if they don't decide to have a booze fest and dump them down the drain.
Yeah.
So think about larger supplies rather than the individual supplies. Not that those can't be swiped, but maybe somebody actually does leave them behind. So you have to really maybe attach them to the wall so that they can't be stolen unless they're going to rip them off the wall.
But then you can't prevent either. If they're going to rip it, they're going to take it.
We've had toilet paper holders ripped off the wall. We've had light fixtures ripped from the ceiling. I don't know. I always figured people stayed at Airbnbs like I did. You go, you keep the place nice, you want to leave it in the same condition it was when you got there, but I don't go and have a booze fest either.
This is true. We've learned it's more of it's a total party, and we are ended up being the ones on the back end that got to clean it up, and it becomes a difficult scenario. And I think that might be something to touch on too. Maybe we'll do a short episode on midterm rentals and the pros and cons versus short-term rentals. Just explain the difference, as short-term rentals more of I'd say 3 to 7 night stay, maybe 2 weeks, but then midterm rental starts to get when you get to at least 30 days, anywhere between 30 days, maybe 6 months, something like that. Once you get closer to the annual, that's when you're talking long term, just to kind of explain the difference there. So anything else that you'd like to touch on?
One last thing,
Yeah.
To avoid the one night stays, because people feel like, well, they can have a one night stay, so they throw their party in your place and then you get to clean it up. And then there's balloons everywhere if they're having like a kids party. So you can put within your parameters of that you don't host events in your place. Not that you don't end up hosting events, because you will, because you're not there. But specifically, we've had people try to book birthday parties there. And we had someone who booked a kid's birthday party there, and there was frosting everywhere and multicolored puke on the carpeting.
And towels and bedding and...
Yeah. So I guess what I've learned about Airbnb is we're probably not going to do another one. That's my pitch on it. Definitely not in a 3-bedroom unit, for sure. Would I do it again in a 2-bedroom unit?
To be determined.
Yeah, I'm not going to make that decision right now, but I'm going to not do another 3-bedroom single-family home in an Airbnb. Midterm, we've had good success with, just not short-term.
Fair enough. Well, we appreciate you guys listening in. If you guys do have any more questions like that, always reach out to us. You can go to our website, scvproperties.com. Or leave a comment down below. We always look back at our videos and stuff like that, so leave a question down below. We'll get back to you there as well, or find us on all our social media. You can just type in SUV Properties in Google and find us the rest there. But for now, that is Caden and Melanie signing off. We'll see you guys in the next episode.
We are real estate professionals helping you make money in real estate 24/7. Thanks for watching.